David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and funny one. Today's post, things I won't miss about 2025. Don't let the doorknob hit ya where the good Lord split ya. Let's face it, 1995 was a special kind of bad. It was the type of year so terrible that you really needed to be completely over before you started making worst of lists, not only out of worry that you might have missed something, but also out of fear that it might suddenly come back to life and claim one more victim, like a movie monster who appeared to be killed but wasn't really, or Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction. Now that it's finally over, here are the things that I'm glad to say goodbye to in 2026. 1. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She still walks among us, of course, and there's nothing we can do about that, but at least she won't be in Congress much longer. She's resigning later this month. Nancy Mace. Another weird Republican congressperson whose batshit craziness led her to loudly proclaim that she was a victim of sexual assault, but still offered full-throated support for grab-ass grandpa anyways. She also told a Washington, D.C. prayer breakfast that she almost stayed in bed with her boyfriend instead of attending the meeting. And who can forget the time she accused a foster care advocate of assaulting her after he shook her hand? Nancy, bye-bye. Charlie Kirk. Yes, I am going there. His murder was a heinous tragedy that leaves innocent children without a father and a skin-tight leather pant-wearing widow without a husband, but he is not a martyr any more than Melissa Hortman was. He may have been a good motivational speaker, but he also said that Taylor Swift should submit to her husband when she gets married, that a few gun deaths and maybe a few school mass shootings was the price he had to pay to protect the Second Amendment, and that Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, and Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson were low-intelligence affirmative action picks who sold the jobs of white people. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just repeating his own words. Oh, and Melissa Hortman was a Minnesota state representative, an actual elected representative, who was assassinated in her home. But her death apparently wasn't a tragedy to conservatives because she was a Democrat, and that doesn't count. ICE raids. I'm not saying that raids to arrest and deport non-white people are going to stop. I'm just saying I won't miss them, and I hope they end soon. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. He isn't resigning like Greene and Mace are, but the days of Trump's little Johnson leading the House of Representatives are definitely numbered. Stephen Miller. Whenever the Lion King is finally deposed, the architect of his immigration policy, Stephen Miller, will undoubtedly go with him. In fact, he may already be dead, or at least undead. I mean, has anybody seen his reflection in a mirror? I won't be the only one who won't miss him. The Kilmar Abrego Garcia case. I'm a bit torn on this one. On the plus side, the longer the wrangling goes on over the fate of this improperly deported man goes on, that is, the dumber the Trump administration looks. At the same time, we're talking about an innocent man who has had his life turned upside down just because he isn't white and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I hope he wins his case and gets to stay in the U.S., and that non-white-skinned people remember his story during the next presidential election. Oh, hell, during the next election this year. Donald Trump. He's not dead yet, but I won't miss him when he's gone. Jimmy Kimmel. Much to the consternation of Trumple Thinskin, the late-night talk show host isn't going anywhere, but I won't miss Trump's threats against him when Dementia J isn't president anymore. And finally, South Park. Yeah, South Park isn't going anywhere either. Yeah, sucks to be you, Donnie, especially since you don't have a sense of humor. I've been David Volk, a voice of the resistance, albeit a strange and silly one.